Hi, and welcome to Board Game Tutorials with Carissa. Today we're going to be going over Ticket to Ride Europe. I'm going to go over a few of the key elements of the game. There is a game board, which shows all of the routes that you can take. These are the train cards. We have a scoring grid, a longest route card that gets you an extra 10 points at the end of the game. You have all your trains. You have 3 stations. And then you have your route cards. Let's get into it. To get started, you put your player token. I'm green, and for the sake of today, the other player is yellow. You put your game token on the scoreboard on the outside of the game board. Everybody gets dealt 3 short route tickets, 1 long route ticket, and 4 starting train cards. On the board, there will be all sorts of different colors of train routes. You need to match the color of the train route with the color of the train. If it has this symbol here, that's a locomotive, it has to be one of these wild locomotive cards. And those are used on ferry routes. If the route is gray, like that bottom ferry route there, that means you can use any color, but they all have to be the same. So you can make it all blue, all green, or any of the other colors of the train cards. There are also tunnels, and tunnels can be gray or any other color. When you're trying to build through a tunnel, you have to have the right amount of colored cards for the route. So let's say I'm doing this orange tunnel route. I would have to have 2 orange and a locomotive, or 3 orange. I would place this down, but then to successfully build a tunnel route, I need to turn up 3 cards, 1, 2, and 3. And if it comes up with any orange, you have to add that many that you have to play in order to claim that route. So if these were all orange cards, I would need to add 3 more orange cards from my hand. On your turn, you can do one of 4 things. You can either take train cards, you can take from the turned up cards here, or you can take from the pile. It's up to you. You can take 2 from here, unless it's a locomotive, then you just take that one. Or you can take 2 from here, or you can take 1 and 1 as long as one of them isn't a locomotive. The other thing you can do is claim a route, which is lay down cards from your hand into the discard pile and put your trains on the route that you're claiming. You can also place a station, or you can take extra train tickets. You would go through this pile here, you would take 3 new tickets, and you have to keep at least 1, but you do not have to keep more than 1. So you look at these cards, and you can keep or discard the number that you need. When you are claiming any route, you have to place all of your train cards in the discard pile, and then you place your trains on the route. So if I claimed this blue one down here, I would have to place my trains on all 3. You cannot claim partial routes. In a 2-player game that we are simulating today, there are multiple routes that have side by side. There's blue and there's green here. Only one of those can be used by 1 player. So if I were to claim this green route, the other player cannot claim that blue one. They would have to find another way around or use a station. A station is used if you need a route to get to a specific destination and the other player or players have taken all of the available routes. You can use a station to use one of the other players' routes so that your trains can get to that destination. There is no limit to how many train cards you can have in your hand. There is also no limit to how many tickets you have in your hand. However, there is a number at the bottom, and that means these are the points that you will get at the end of the game if you complete this route. So once you know where you're going and you claim all of your routes to get to the destinations, at the end of the game, you will score these points. If you have a ticket in your hand that is not completed, these points will be subtracted from your total. As we go along and claim the routes, this is the scoring table. So if you claim a route that has one train only, you get 1 point. 2 trains is 2, 3 is 4, 4 is 7, 6 is 15, and 8 is 21. And when you claim a route, that's when you count these points as you're playing the game on the track outside of the main board. Let's play a few rounds. So I'm going to look at my starting hand of tickets, and I have to keep at least one of these. It is smart to keep your longest route because that is worth the most amount of points at the end of the game. So make sure you know exactly where you're supposed to be. So I'm going from Edinburgh to Athena. So I need to find where those are, and that is what my focus is going to be on. Now I have these other 3 routes. I would want to try and make it easy on myself. So I may just do this one, because I will have to go down here and then I can do a little offshoot there. So I'm just going to keep these 2 tickets. I'm going to discard the others, and I can always pick up tickets throughout the game if I want more. For my first turn, I am going to take this locomotive because I'm going to have to use at least 1 locomotive to get onto these ferry routes from Edinburgh. So I'm going to take that locomotive, and that's the end of my turn, and that's what comes up. And then the next player would take their turn. These are the 2 routes that I'm keeping for the other players. So they'll be going from Copenhagen to Erzurum and from Angora to Kharkov. So this is the second player's turn. They are going to take the 2 blues. And then that gets refreshed. I would like to get more orange. There isn't any orange up here, so I'm going to take my 2 cards from here. And I did happen to get an orange in my hand. And then the next player is going to take another blue. And let's do a white. So I'm going to use 1, 2, 3 orange and a wild card in order to lay track down from Edinburgh to London. So I'm going to put these in the discard pile, and I'm going to place my trains on that track. And I laid down 4 trains, so that comes to 7 points. So I move my scoring token to 7. Now, when you're placing trains, you do not have to place trains connected to your other trains. You can place anywhere on the board. All right, so now I'm going to try for this tunnel here. So it's 4 of any color. So I'm going to choose these pink ones. So 1, 2, 3, and a wild card. And now I have to flip over 3 of these train cards. And if any of them are pink, I need to add that pink along with my cost. So the first one is a blue, then a green, and then a black. So I am good. So that means I pay this and I make that tunnel. Now, if If a few pink had come up and I didn't have enough to pay for that, I can put what I kind of bid back into my hand. I do not have to discard them, but all of the ones that come from here have to be discarded. So I was able to get that tunnel. Now I get 7 points for that. Now player yellow is going to try for a tunnel. So I've got my 3 reds to claim this tunnel here. So I got 1, 2, and 3. Perfect. So I only need to pay my 3. So now my tickets, I believe I have finished. I have gone all the way from Edinburgh up at the corner there to Athena down here. And then I also managed to finish my Barcelona to Bruxelles. So Barcelona is down here and Bruxelles is up there. So those are all connected. So on this turn, I am going to take some tickets. So I pull 3 and I get to choose where I go. Also keep in mind the number of trains you have. Once any of the players get down to 2 trains, everyone gets one last turn and that is the end of the game. I am not going to do this one. So I discard this one and I'm keeping the 2 that I have, keeping in mind that if I don't finish any one of these, I get negative points. So the other player is going to use a station on their turn. I'm going to place it right here. And a station can go anywhere that there isn't already a station. So they're going to put that station there and they're going to claim this as part of their route. And it's the other player's turn and they are out of tickets. Now they only have 8 more trains, so it might be risky to take another ticket. The alternative is to just claim routes. Either that will mess the other player up or try and get as many points as possible by claiming routes on the board that are quite long. This player is going to take a risk and take 3 more tickets and try their luck and see if they can complete maybe 1 more ticket. They're just going to keep 1 more ticket. So yellow is down to 2 trains, which means this is my last turn. So that is the end of the game. We have completed all of the routes that we can, and now we go through the scoring. Let's do yellow's score first, because I think they might have won. So they finished this one, which is 21 points. They finished this one for 10. And then they finished these 2 for another 10. They get 3 points per station that they did not use, so they get an additional 6 points. Now let's go through mine. I finished this, which is 21. I finished this one for another 9. I finished this for another 10. I finished this for another 8. And then we try and figure out who has the longest continuous route. So you just count the trains. So yellow gets an additional 10 points for having the longest continuous route. I have to minus some points because I did not complete either of these. I came very, very close, but I did not complete them. So I have to minus 15 from my score. I also get points for the leftover trains that I have. So I did not use any trains, so I get another 9 points. That is the end of the game, and as you can see, yellow got more points than I did, so yellow has won in this game. Thank you for joining me and learning how to play Ticket to Ride Europe. Happy gaming!